You don't just wake up one morning and become a man. It doesn't come with age, money, muscles, or status. You earn it every damn day through pain. Responsibility and relentless discipline. Pain is the initiation into manhood. It's the first gate you have to walk through if you ever want to find out who you really are. No one becomes a man by reading about it, talking about it, or pretending to be one. You become a man when life puts you on your knees, strips away your comfort, and forces you to decide whether you're going to stay broken or rise up. Pain is the great equalizer. It doesn't care about your background, your talent, or your excuses. It shows up for everyone, and how you respond to it determines the kind of man you'll become. When you're comfortable, you're untested. You can talk strong, act tough, post motivational quotes, but until pain comes knocking, you don't know anything about yourself. Pain introduces you to your limits. It's the voice that whispers, "You can't do this," and the test that asks, "Will you prove me wrong?" It strips away the mask. There's no pretending when you're exhausted, bleeding, or broken. Pain doesn't lie. It reveals. It shows you the truth, whether you're a pretender or a warrior. Most people never make it past that point. They back off the moment things get hard. They choose comfort over growth. They live small because they never let pain shape them. But if you want to become a man, you have to face it head on. Manhood is built in the moments when no one is watching, when you're suffering in silence and no one cares. It's in those dark hours when you want to quit, but you don't. When you push through the doubt, through the fear, through the weakness that tries to pull you back. Pain teaches you that growth isn't supposed to feel good. It's supposed to hurt. Every rep in the gym, every mile on the road, every failure that knocks you down, it's all a test. It's the fire that burns away the parts of you that don't belong. You can't shortcut it, you can't avoid it, and you can't fake it. The only way out is through. The reason pain is the initiation into manhood is because it forces accountability. You can't blame anyone else when it's just you and the pain. It demands ownership. It demands that you stop pointing fingers and start taking responsibility. When everything hurts and you still choose to move forward, you're building something that no one can give you. Self-respect. That's what a man is built on. Not money, not power, not validation, but self-respect earned through pain. Every great man you've ever heard about went through it. The struggles, the failures, the humiliation, the long nights of doubt. That's the price. Pain teaches humility because it reminds you that nothing comes easy. It keeps you grounded. But it also gives you pride because you know what it took to survive. You start to see pain differently. It's no longer something to fear. It becomes a signal. When you feel it, you know you're in the right place. You're growing. You're evolving. You're earning your identity. So when pain comes, and it always will, don't run. Don't hide. Let it shape you. Let it strip away the weakness and expose what's real. Because that's what the initiation is. Pain isn't there to destroy you. It's there to reveal you. To introduce you to the man that's been waiting on the other side of your limits all along. Stop seeking comfort. Every time you chase comfort, you're stepping further away from your potential. Comfort is the silent killer of greatness. It's that warm blanket that keeps you from ever feeling cold, but it also keeps you from ever getting stronger. People today are obsessed with convenience. Soft beds, easy paths, instant results. They want success without struggle, growth without sacrifice, and meaning without effort. But the truth is simple: nothing worth having is born in comfort. Everything that defines you, your strength, your discipline, your resilience, is forged in discomfort. When you live in comfort, you forget what you're capable of. You stop testing yourself, stop pushing your limits, stop growing. You become stagnant, alive but not really living. You start to move through life like a passenger, watching everything happen around you, but never truly engaging with it. Comfort breeds weakness, and weakness is what kills dreams. Every time you choose the easy option, every time you back away from challenge, you're training yourself to settle. You're teaching your mind that safety is more important than growth. But deep down, you know that safety is an illusion. Life is unpredictable, and sooner or later, It will test you. And if you've lived your whole life hiding from discomfort, you won't have the strength to stand when the test comes. Discomfort is the only honest teacher you'll ever have. It strips you down to your core and forces you to confront what's real. It doesn't care about your excuses or your feelings. It just asks one question: how bad do you want it? That's the question comfort will never ask. Comfort tells you you're fine as you are. Discomfort tells you that you could be more. When you stop seeking comfort, you stop chasing the illusion of ease and start chasing growth. You learn to lean into the hard things, the early mornings, the long days, the lonely hours. You stop avoiding pain and start embracing it as part of the process. Because once you realize that discomfort isn't punishment, but preparation, your entire mindset shifts. There's a power that comes from willingly stepping into discomfort. It builds something inside you that nothing else can. When you push yourself to run when you're tired, to study when you'd rather sleep, to stay focused when everything around you is distracting, that's when you separate yourself from the crowd. That's when you start becoming dangerous in the best way possible. You become the kind of person who doesn't need perfect conditions to perform. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop waiting for the right time. You act no matter how you feel. Comfort is seductive because it tells you that you've done enough. It whispers that you deserve a break, that you can take it easy, that life should be simple. But the people who achieve something real in this world, the ones who lead and inspire, are the ones who refuse to listen. They find comfort in the struggle. They find peace in the chaos. They understand that the only way to be strong is to suffer a little every day. Not because suffering is glorious, but because it keeps them sharp, hungry, and humble. So stop chasing comfort. Stop protecting your weakness. Choose the harder path, the one that tests you. The one that makes you question whether you can keep going. Because that's the path that builds you. Every moment of discomfort is a chance to rise above the version of yourself that's afraid. You can't become who you're meant to be by staying safe. Growth and comfort cannot live in the same place. One has to die for the other to live. And if you want to live with purpose, power, and pride, you already know which one it has to be. Responsibility and discipline define you. These two qualities separate men from boys, pretenders from leaders, talkers from doers. They are not traits you are born with. They are built through repetition, struggle, and consistency. Responsibility means owning your life, every part of it. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Together, they form the foundation of strength, integrity, and character. Without them, you drift through life like a leaf in the wind, tossed around by every emotion, excuse, and circumstance that comes your way. Taking responsibility is the first step toward becoming someone real. It's easy to blame others, to point fingers at bad luck, bad timing, or unfair situations. But blame is weakness. When you blame, you hand over your power. You tell the world that you're not in control of your own life. Responsibility takes that power back. It says, everything that happens to me might not be my fault, but it is my responsibility. That mindset changes everything. It forces you to look in the mirror, not with excuses, but with honesty. It demands that you own your choices, your effort, your attitude. Once you take full responsibility, you can no longer play the victim. And that's where freedom begins. Discipline is the weapon that keeps you steady once you've accepted that responsibility. It's easy to be motivated for a week. It's easy to talk about your goals. But discipline is what makes you show up when you don't want to. It's waking up before the sun because you promised yourself you would. It's sticking to your training, your work, your principles even when no one's watching. Discipline is what turns dreams into reality. It's not glamorous, and it's not exciting most days. It's boring, repetitive, and uncomfortable. But it's also the foundation of every victory, every success, every ounce of self-respect you'll ever earn. Without discipline, responsibility fades into words. You can't claim to take ownership of your life if you're not willing to control your actions. You can't build respect for yourself or from others if you can't follow through on your commitments. Discipline is proof that you mean what you say. It's the daily grind that transforms potential into power. And it's the difference between those who talk about change and those who create. Most people wait for motivation to act, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. It's built on decision, not emotion. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build strength. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust with yourself. That's how confidence is born, not from hype, but from history. A man who keeps his word to himself becomes unstoppable because he knows he can rely on his own will. Responsibility and discipline don't make life easier. They make you stronger. They strip away excuses and expose the truth about who you are. They force you to take control of your destiny instead of waiting for someone to save you. The moment you start living with responsibility and discipline, you stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop chasing pleasure and start pursuing purpose. You start walking through life with clarity, direction, and power. You become someone others can depend on. Someone who stands tall even when things fall apart. In a world full of people looking for shortcuts and comfort, responsibility and discipline are what make you rare. They're what define your character when everything else fades. They're not a part-time choice or a temporary phase. They are a lifestyle. And the more you live by them, the less you'll need to talk about who you are, because your actions will already speak louder than anything you could ever say. Embrace the darkness. The darkness is where you meet yourself without the filters, without the noise, without the lies. It's the place most people run from. The sleepless nights, the failures, the doubt, the pain that feels endless. But the truth is, that darkness is the most honest teacher you'll ever have. It doesn't care about your dreams or your plans. It strips you bare and shows you who you really are when the world isn't clapping, when no one's cheering, and when everything inside you screams to quit. The darkness is uncomfortable because it reveals the parts of you that need to change. It holds up a mirror, and what you see isn't always pretty. That's why people avoid it. They drown it out with distractions, with pleasure, with noise. But if you want to grow, if you want to become something unbreakable, you have to stop running and face it. The darkness is where strength is born. It's where all the surface level motivation fades away. And all that's left is discipline, truth, and willpower. When you're in that place where you feel completely alone, when it feels like nobody understands what you're going through, that's when you're closest to transformation. Because growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you're cornered by reality and forced to fight your way out. The darkness forces you to decide, will you let it crush you, or will you use it to rise? That's the question every strong person has had to answer. And the answer doesn't come in words. It comes in action. You get up one more time. You push one more inch. You keep moving even when it doesn't make sense. Pain, failure, heartbreak. These are all parts of the darkness. They test you, but they also shape you. You can't develop resilience without something to endure. You can't develop patience without being forced to wait. You can't develop courage without fear. The darkness gives you all these gifts, but it disguises them as suffering. Only those who stay long enough to see beyond the pain ever receive them. Most people leave too soon. They want light without earning it. But the only reason light matters is because of the darkness that came before it. Without struggle, victory means nothing. Without loneliness, love means nothing. Without fear, courage doesn't exist. When you learn to embrace the darkness, you stop seeing it as punishment. You start to understand that it's part of the process, that it's necessary. You start asking, why me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That shift changes everything. You begin to use the darkness as fuel. You let it sharpen your mind, toughen your skin, and deepen your soul. You realize that every setback, every loss, the world's tough, every failure is molding you into someone you couldn't have become otherwise. The darkness becomes your ally because it gives you something that comfort never could: depth. Every strong man, every warrior, every leader has walked through darkness. Not one of them came out of the light untouched. They all had moments when they thought they were finished. They all faced doubt so loud it drowned out everything else. But they stayed. They didn't run. They adapted. They learned to find calm inside chaos. They learned that the darkness is not something to fear. It's something to master. And once you master it, nothing can break you again. Embracing the darkness means accepting that life will never be easy, but it can be meaningful. It means trusting that even in your lowest moments, there's a lesson shaping you. It means refusing to let pain define you, and instead letting it refine you. The darkness doesn't disappear, but your relationship with it changes. You stop being its victim and become its student. You stop hiding from the storm and start walking into it with your head held high, knowing that every step through that darkness is a step closer to the strongest version of yourself. Becoming a man is a daily battle. It's not something you achieve once and hold forever. It's something you earn again every single day. Every morning you wake up, you face a choice to rise and fight or to give in and coast. Manhood isn't a title someone hands you. It's a mindset, a standard, a relentless pursuit of growth, discipline, and integrity. It's built in the quiet, unseen moments when no one is around to applaud you. It's built when you do the hard things simply because they're the right things. Every day is a test, and the grading never stops. Most people think manhood is about strength, power, or control, but it's not. It's about responsibility, consistency, and resilience. It's about facing the things you don't want to face, your fears, your failures, your weaknesses, and doing the work anyway. Every day brings new challenges, and each one is an opportunity to either step up or step back. The moment you stop pushing, the moment you stop improving, you start slipping. Becoming a man is a constant process of sharpening yourself, of refusing to be comfortable, of holding yourself accountable even when no one else will. It's a battle against a part of you that wants to stay small, safe, and soft. The battle isn't just physical. It's mental, emotional, and spiritual. The world's tough. It's fighting your ego when it tells you you're better than you are. It's fighting your doubt when it tells you you're not good enough. It's fighting your laziness, your anger, your pride, your fear. These battles happen quietly inside your own head, but they determine everything about the kind of man you become. There are days when you'll lose those battles. You'll fail, fall short, break promises, and disappoint yourself. But what defines you isn't the failure. It's what you do afterward. Do you get back up? Do you learn? Do you keep going? Because manhood isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Every day you wake up, life will test you. It will throw chaos, pain, and uncertainty your way. And you don't get to choose the battles, only how you face them. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you'll want to disappear. But that's exactly when it matters most. It's easy to act strong when everything's going your way. It's easy to talk about values when you're comfortable. The real test of a man is how he stands when life punches him in the face. When he's tired, alone, and nothing seems to work. That's when the battle is real. That's when your character is revealed. Becoming a man is not a single act of courage. It's a lifetime of small victories. It's getting up early when you don't want to. It's taking care of your responsibilities when no one's watching. It's admitting when you're wrong, fixing what's broken, and moving forward without complaint. It's showing up for the people who depend on you, even when you have nothing left in the tank. It's doing what's right, not what's easy, again and again until it becomes who you are. This daily battle never ends because the moment you think you've made it, the world will remind you that you haven't. You have to keep building, keep evolving, keep proving to yourself that you're capable of more. Every sunrise brings a new chance to earn your respect, to live with purpose, to become the man you're meant to be. And that's the truth most people don't want to face. There's no finish line. The fight doesn't stop. You don't retire from discipline, responsibility, or growth. You carry them with you until your last breath. Because becoming a man isn't about one big victory. It's about showing up and fighting that battle every single day, no matter how tired, how broken, or how uncertain you are.